The first impression that comes to our mind about any college: tall buildings, big classrooms, large lobby areas, thick books, IT labs, assignments, class tests, and projects. Nothing besides that. Every hour, minute, second spent here help us carving and shaping our persona, cultivating innovative mindsets for the challenging world. Learning is a lifelong process. Sharing knowledge, inculcating values of life, spark the innovative horizons of mind. Fun and frolic is the nature of every nook and corner here. A daily dose of thrill we are sure to get here.
Good morning, everyone. I, Sukriti Arora, Assistant Professor, DME Media School, welcome you all to this Session Orientation Program 2022, Opportunities in Media World. For the third consecutive year, DME Media School is organizing this program with the motive of apprising its students about the subjects in their new semester and also to prepare them for a career in those particular fields. This year, the program will be held in a hybrid mode with experts of new media, media research, event management, digital media marketing, and film appreciation. To begin the day, I first invite Dr. Susmita Bala, Head DME Media School, to give the opening remarks.
Thank you, Sukriti. So, welcome 5th semester students. और सबसे इम्पॉर्टेंट ये है कि अब आप फाइनली सीनियर मोस्ट स्टूडेंट्स हैं और आपको बहुत कुछ सीखना है, बहुत कुछ करना है. आपके पास 5th सेमेस्टर में जैसे मैम ने भी बताया कि 5 पेपर्स हैं जिसमें एक इलेक्टिव जो आपको चूज़ करना है, ऑलरेडी आपने चूज़ कर लिया है. इम्पॉर्टेंट ये है कि हमने जो अभी तक मिस किया है इन फर्स्ट सेमेस्टर, फर्स्ट ईयर, वो आपको ज़्यादा से ज़्यादा गेन करने की कोशिश करनी है. क्योंकि फर्स्ट ईयर में आपकी क्लासेस उतनी नहीं हुई कोरोना की वजह से, लेकिन इंटर्नशिप करने के बाद जब आप यहाँ आए हैं, मोस्ट ऑफ द स्टूडेंट की इंटर्नशिप हो गई है, तो जब आप इंटर्नशिप करने के बाद आए हैं तो आपके पास न्यू मीडिया, मीडिया रिसर्च, इवेंट मैनेजमेंट, डिजिटल मीडिया मार्केटिंग एंड फिल्म एप्रिसिएशन, जो 5 सब्जेक्ट्स हैं, उनमें बहुत 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 कुछ करना है. और इवेंट मैनेजमेंट में जैसा सबको पता है, हर साल आप वृत्तिका करते हैं, बहुत अच्छा इवेंट करते हैं, तो आप तीनों सेक्शन को मिला के एक इवेंट ऑर्गेनाइज करना है. इम्पॉर्टेंट ये है कि जो आप अभी FER के लिए तैयारी करेंगे, वो आप इंटर्नशिप के दौरान जो भी काम करके आए हैं, वो आपकी मोस्ट इम्पॉर्टेंट रिपोर्ट बनेगी, जो आपने 1 मंथ इंटर्नशिप में सीखा है. तो मैं सिर्फ और सिर्फ अभी यही कहना चाहती हूँ कि वेलकम इन 5th सेमेस्टर एंड बहुत अच्छा काम करो. सभी के लिए इम्पॉर्टेंट है कि आप ज़्यादा से ज़्यादा अर्न करके जाएं और DME आपके लिए हमेशा सपोर्टिव है. थैंक यू.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for your motivating words. And now I would like to invite Professor Ravikant Swami to please address the gathering and talk about his vision for this semester.
Okay, students, so it's always a celebrity kind of feeling when we enter this studio, isn't it to you? So this is probably our favorite place in this college. I have seen many other people. We invited school principals, and the moment they were sitting here, they were like 2 inches above the earth. So so this studio was actually visioned, and before this studio we had library here. But when Ambrish sir and Bala ma'am came, they had a vision, and with that vision the studio was built. And I think it is more than serving the purpose for which it was created. How many of you know Amish Devgan? You know Amish Devgan, आप भी जानते हैं. And how many of you know Guneet Monga? Okay. Anyway, both of them big names and students of sir and ma'am, like you. So at one point in time, they were their students tomorrow you will be like Amish Devgan, you will be like Guneet Monga. In case you don't know about Guneet Monga, I believe you know about Gangs of Wasseypur. So she is the owner of the production house which produced the great movies like Gangs of Wasseypur. Rather, Guneet Monga, who did BJMC from IPU only, some other college, where sir and ma'am were there, like you, she was their student. Today her contribution to Bollywood is immense. In the sense, she has given a model wherein it's not the Karan Johar or Yash Chopra model, wherein they create huge investments and then it is arsh par ya farsh par. No, this is a different model given by none other than an IPU student, sirs and ma'am student, that we create low budget movies, meaningful movies, great stories, and then a movie with a budget of 9-10 crore and it gives you say 35-40 crore. So it's not like 100 crore budget and then giving you 300 crore. So that's a great model. Because then when you talk about huge investments like Karan Johar, Yash Chopra and Hrithik Roshan kind, then there comes, when the risks are very high, then Dawood Ibrahim's enter the industry. Sir. So along with you, the department is also growing. We had Dr. Manmeet. Now Manmeet ma'am has also, like you are moving ahead. Manmeet ma'am also did her PhD. And Pandey ji, your favorite Pandey ji, Chulbul Pandey to nahi kahunga inko. So he has also submitted his PhD. So very soon he will be Dr. Pandey. And Kamil ji, of course, he is pursuing. It will take little time for him to be Dr. Kamil. And then we have Madhav. He has also recently joined. You can see his videos. His interview was based on his videos only. He's such a great actor, and I loved his comedy. So you can learn from the new entrants like Madhav Sharma ji, who are great actors themselves. Madhav ji, you can share your videos with them. So we did not ask him any question after looking at his videos because they were so impressive. And of course he he looks great in the comedy roles with his head shaking right and left. So we also have Dr. Sumedha Dasmana joining us, so she will be teaching you. Another doctorate in the department. And lastly, but of course not the least, is Madam Saima Parvez. She is a distant cousin of the RJ Saima. Anyway, when we will talk with her, you will find her to be a better speaker than the RJ Saima. That I can guarantee you. So, with all that, we welcome you all in your 5th semester. As ma'am said, this is the last step. But the last step, the next last step means next beginning is going to be there. So after this, your as ma'am talked about that major project, and then the job part is there. And of course, the media world has changed with OTT. So I wish you all the best. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir, for livening this gathering for all of us, and also for introducing all the new members of DME Media School. I now invite Dr. Manmeet Kaur, Associate Professor and Academic Coordinator of DME Media School, to please address the gathering.
Good morning, everyone. So nice to see you all. Welcome back to 5th semester. We are all looking forward to work together and to grow together, of course. So once again, good morning, everyone, and welcome to the session orientation program of DME Media School. So this is the first part of this orientation program because earlier 2 years we were conducting this session orientation program for both 5th semester and 3rd semester. Now, due to pandemic, there is a loss of sync between various semesters. So this time, we have organized this part 1 for semester 5th students. And the earlier two editions of SOP, they were conducted in August 2020 from 4th to 8th August, and the keynote speaker of that session orientation program was Mr. Chetan Sharma. He is the founder of EduMat TV, an entrepreneur and a business enabler. So in the year 2021, DME Media School organized session orientation program between August 23rd to 25th, again for both the semesters, third semester and fifth semester. And that time, Mr. Ashok Srivastav from Doordarshan was the keynote speaker of the program. So if I really conclude the two editions of SOP, the guests were for 2020 were Dr. U.S. Pandey from University of Delhi, Dr. Meera Desai, a researcher, accomplished professor from Mumbai, Dr. Sarvesh Dutt Tripathi, expert for development communication from GGS IPU main campus. Then Mr. Prince Shadwal, an independent filmmaker, and he delivered his lecture for the film appreciation subject. Mr. Pankaj Saxena, a filmmaker. Ms. Divya Vasudeva, celebrated RJ. Mr. Shibaram Mishra, Mr. Unni Krishnan PP, and Mr. Raman Raheja. They were there for 2020 SOP for the DME Media School students. And in 2021, we have Mr. Ashok Srivastav, Dr. U.S. Pandey, Mr. Sarvesh Dutt Tripathi, then Mr. Pankaj Rakesh, Dr. Deepak Swaminathan, Ms. Kajal Suri, Professor Meera Desai, Mr. Chandrasekhar Karalkal, Mr. Murtaza Ali Khan, Ms. Divya Vasudeva, and Mr. Shibaram Mishra. So this year as well, we will be having sessions for event management, digital media marketing, film appreciation, and new media. And we all are looking forward for the session orientation program for fifth semester students in this year as well in 2022. Welcome again. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. So after all of these opening remarks, it is time to begin with the session. We are gathered here today for the first session of this week-long hybrid orientation program. I request Dr. Ambrish Saxena, Dean DME Media School, to please take the dais and enlighten our students about the opportunities in the media world. Thank you.
Okay, so the stage has already been set for this session orientation program. Obviously, we conceived this idea as it has been told during the pandemic in 2020, because that was the year which was difficult for everybody, for all of us. And then we were feeling a need of having increased engagement with the students since there was lockdown most of the period. And that is how it is started. Now, talking about your batch, since your batch joined that time only, so you people were also having irregularity in terms of having classes in the physical mode. Mostly it was in the online mode, and then sometime it was on offline, and it went on and on. But luckily, better late than never. Now there is the time since last semester that you have now got the opportunity to be back to the campus, and then we have gradually been trying to have a mix of the two, because once we have tasted the benefits of online, so we are also not ready to sacrifice those benefits. So that is how we have been trying to have most of the things in the hybrid mode. Like the ICANN, as we had very recently, there also we had many things in the hybrid. So in future also, you have 1 year to go to finish this BA JMC. So you must understand this, that whatever we have been doing after today, in this semester, in the next semester, all kind of activities we will be having in the hybrid mode. Now, what does it mean actually? So you should be mentally prepared for that, and I would also like to you to contribute in some way or the other as to how this mode of education succeeds. Now, there are sessions like this which is completely in the physical space. Nothing is happening online.
So nothing is going on Zoom and nobody can connect through any online platform or anything. So we will consider this kind of setup, this kind of session completely in the physical space. I avoid using the offline for the simple reason that physical space we have always been having. The whole education system we talk about, it has always been in the face-to-face mode. So online came much later. I mean, online came accidentally, though there are not so good parts, but there are good parts as well. So obviously, offline is not something which is coming after online. It should be treated that we are back to normal. We are back to the physical space. So this is in the physical, and online we all know as to how the session happens and all. But there are certain sessions which we would like to have in the hybrid mode, meaning thereby either the resource person or the participants, they also might be online along with the things which are happening in the physical space. So we will be using all three formats in all our activities, whether it's about regular education and training, or whether it's about having any event or any activity like this, because Vritika is also going to happen in October, which is primarily your responsibility, the responsibility of your batch, because you have that event management paper. So that will be your practical exercise as part of that fest. And then we will be having SIFI in December, the International Film Festival. And for the last 2 years, luckily, December has been a month in 2020 and in 2021 also, which was comparatively relaxed as far as the pandemic was concerned. So that is how we could have the SIFI in 2020 in the hybrid mode, and in 2021 also in the hybrid mode. So that will continue this year as well. Now coming to again to this orientation program, though we started, as I told you, and we understand during the pandemic period, but now I wish that this continue this way only, because this gives us a window to reach out to the people who are experts in their fields and who are outside Delhi, who are located outside Delhi. So that is how in this year's SOP also we have experts from Bangalore, we have experts from Chennai, we have experts from Mumbai. So that's the good part of having the hybrid mode. But certainly a few sessions like this and a few more sessions we'll be having in the physical mode. Now coming to the papers that you will be having in this semester, though I believe everybody must be knowing what all papers are there in this semester, but I will give you an overview in the light of the fact that what all is expected from you people as far as your studies are concerned, and also what kind of scenario you will be getting when you will join the industry. So you need to prepare for taking up positions in the industry, and also if you want to do something in your higher studies, either in some PG program or any master's program that many of you might be taking up. And as our experience goes, in every batch almost 50% students take up the higher studies option. So if I can tell you about that also, so I will be telling you about that also, the higher studies aspect. Firstly, to talk about the papers that you will be having in this semester. The first and the foremost thing, which is very dominant, which will be very dominant in this semester, is your digital media understanding and your exposure to digital media. Though digital media is not something which is to be told nowadays, everybody uses digital media all the time. Whichever tool you are using, whether you are working on your laptop or whether you are using your smartphone, that's something which has become an inseparable part of your life. But when we are studying it as a subject, so there is one compulsory paper in new media, and then obviously there is one elective paper, digital media marketing, wherein the option is that either you choose digital media marketing or you choose film appreciation. So that is how we have planned one session on digital media with focus on digital media, which will be the afternoon session today only, wherein Mr. Sanjay Kumar will be taking the lecture. Since he is located in Bangalore, so that is how it will be a hybrid session, will be happening here only, and he will be connecting from Bangalore. Right, so now the emphasis on digital media, why there is so much emphasis, why there is a paper on that, and why the elective subjects also there is a paper on digital media marketing. Because you will find there are certain papers like this which were not there in journalism and mass communication programs if we look at the syllabus conventionally. But these changes have started happening during the last 20 years or so. Because when I was in IP University, I started one specialization in new media in the year 2006. Now this is 2022. 16 years have gone. So we can understand that the emphasis had already started even 20 years back, that this is the media of the future. Now that future has become the present. So everybody has to be well versed with whatever is there in the new media, whether we call it new media. There is a debate on this also, whether this is actually new media or not, because this was supposed to be, this was called new media in later 1990s. So after 25 or 30 years, whether it remains new media or not. So that's one thing which we need to ponder on. Though no new name has been coined for new media, but then many new things have been added. So even if we continue using the same name, same term, but then we have to be acquainted with whatever latest is happening in the new media. So now if I can tell you from media perspective, because ultimately technology is a tool. And when we talk about media studies, it has broadly two components, which I think you would have understood. If not, that could be a reminder from my side when you approach any media subject. So you must understand that there are two components that you need to address to. One is the content part, another is the production part, right? Any medium that we are talking about, whether it's print, or radio, or television, or even the web media or the digital media. One, that you need to have the contents. When you're writing a news report for a newspaper, there also you need to have some content. Or whether you are producing a program for radio, you need to have some content. Or whether you are writing a story which is to be placed on a news portal or any web-based platform, there also you need to have content. So you have to learn the content part, which will include the writing part and which will also include the presentation part. So when we talk about the content, then obviously both the things must be understood. Your writing has to be good. Whether you, whichever paper you are studying, your writing has to be good, because the writing part will always be there, right? So the writing and then the presentation. Whether you are making a radio program, whether you are doing some podcasting, whether you are making a program for television, for video, there has to be something written. Either in the written text, like in any video program, we put a lot of text, which is going on as a ticker or which is placed on the plate or something. And then there are some spoken words. So radio is, again, I mean, you have already studied radio. So it's a spoken word and the written word, both are important. So when we approach the digital media, it is something which has already penetrated in all subjects. Any subject you are studying in this semester, digital media is the core, right? So you must learn, you must focus in this semester. Whatever you have done, fine. If you have worked on those areas, nothing like that. But if you have not done, then you must understand that this is something which you need to focus on, your writing part, right? Writing part then presentation. This means everybody must learn how to make a presentation in terms of your speech, in terms of your delivery, in terms of your expression, in terms of your articulation. So this is something which you need to learn. And then and then the technology part, which is the skill part, right? Media is composed of these two things: the writing skills and the technical skills. Both have to be important. So whichever media platform you are working, so this technical part has to be there. And earlier, there used to be a time, 20 years, 30 years, 40 years down the line, there used to be a time when both the things were completely separate. The journalists who used to be there in 80s, 90s, they were supposed to be focusing on writing only, or if somebody was working on television, then the speaking only. But nowadays, that's a thing of the past. Everybody has to be good in technology. Now, the yardsticks might be different. Not everybody can be so good in technology, but you cannot avoid technology in today's time. So everybody must focus on that. That is how this new media paper is there, that you must understand the things related to technology, right? That is how, and in whichever career you might be opting after completing your graduation, whether you are going for journalism or going for advertising or going for public relations, that understanding and knowledge of technology will help. And if that is not there, you will find it difficult to get a job, or even if you get a job, to survive in the job will be too difficult. So you all must understand this at the outset, that you have to focus on that, right? Among the teachers also you can see this, that we are always looking for teachers who are good in technology. Why? Because in your syllabus only, right from first semester till the sixth semester, there are such kind of papers, there are such kind of areas wherein that technological knowledge is required. When I say technology, this means it must be clear, because you must be having an impression that you all know how to work on laptop and how to work on your smartphone. You all know that everything is internet based. But do you actually know how to use the technology? How to use the technology to your benefit, to your growth, to your knowledge enhancement? So I doubt if that is there. So technology should be learned in a manner that you know how to do the surfing. There are a majority of you who I'm sure you must not be knowing how to do the surfing. So small areas, how to do a search on Google. So these are the areas that will be taken up in your studies in the paper of new media, so that these small things you understand, right? So you will be having your media research in this semester. Now when you are doing a research, and in this media research paper, there is a lab paper. You all know that most of the theory papers have their lab component. So in the lab paper of media research, you are supposed to do your projects, your research-based assignments, wherein you will be asked to choose a topic on which you will be doing the research, you will be collecting the data, you will analyzing the data, you will be writing a report, right? Now there you have to depend on the Google. To search for a lot of material. Now there also your teachers will be telling you how to search the right kind of material for your research purpose. Which are the sources from where you will get the right kind of information, right kind of data. For instance, you are doing your review of literature for your research. So obviously you have to go to all such sites wherein you will get what all researches have already been done in those areas where you are planning to do your research. So how to use the technology to your benefit, to your academic purposes, that you need to learn. So uh, you need to understand how to use the same technology that you have been using till date. The usage, the pattern of usage has to be relearned by you, which will be taken care of in different papers in 5th semester, right? Beyond that, I wish if some of you or many of you are able to learn beyond this. Beyond this means many of you might be on the YouTube and making your YouTube programs, but whether you are following the right kind of approach while you are making the programs. Technology has all good things, but the bad things are, but if you do not learn something and you start practicing, there's a major problem during this time. Because when you say that the technology is in your hand, you can do anything, you can make any program, you can make your reel, and everything can be done. But whether you have actually learned that. Now, when we talk about learning, now this whole BJMC is a structured program. There are 6 semesters, different papers are in different semesters. But if your focus is not on learning, it is more on practicing, then there is a problem. You can practice, obviously. Technology is there, so you can instantly make a video. Nobody is stopping you doing that. But if you have not understood the basics of video production, then there will be quality issues. Obviously, when we talk about the instant production, then you might be ignoring the production related things. But in the long run, that will harm you, because you do not know the basics, and when you will join the industry, the kind of videos that you are making for social media will not be acceptable there. So your emphasis has to be on learning. I believe in my earlier interactions, whenever I might be talking to you, I would have emphasized on this part, on the learning part. We have to get rid of the conventional mode of education. We have to focus on learning. In the entire world, this has changed. We are not changing that way, both at the level of the teachers and also at the level of students. So that change has to be introduced, wherein our approach has to be towards learning. I also agree that the system does not support the learning-based system in India, for the reason that we still have an examination system which is not learning-based. But then, if you will not understand this today, you will be at a loss. So better, don't wait for the system to change. Don't wait for the policymakers to come out with something new. You start yourself and you understand the importance of learning. What is meant by learning? Learning here means that you have to depend on whatever you would have extracted from some lecture that has been imparted, from some notes that would have been provided to you. What is your takeaway from that? What have you understood out of that 1 hour lecture? Have you understood one-liner out of that 60 minutes? That one thing, that one-liner, that 1 minute learning should be such which will remain with you all your life. The problem in the education system which we all confront is that a lecture is delivered, you attend or you don't attend, or you take some notes. At the time of examination, you go through those notes, you write those answers in the examination, and you get 80% and 90% marks, and then you are under the impression that you are a very good student, which is completely unfounded. Because as soon as your first semester is over and you are in the second semester, you forget what you had studied in the first semester. When you are studying in the 5th semester, I believe hardly anybody will be remembering what all you have studied in the first 4 semesters. So there is no consistency. There is no learning that has taken place. Learning is something which is very, very clear. It must be understood by everybody. Learning is something which goes to your brain, which becomes part of your cognition and which you will never forget. Then only then you will be able to make use of that learning, because then the application arises. If you don't store anything, nothing is stored in your mind, in your brain. What will you put to use? What will you apply to any situation in life, because you have already forgotten whatever you have studied? So you must try. At least you should all try how to enhance your learning. Right? It's not merely the responsibility of the teachers to go to the class and deliver a lecture, whether you are understanding something out of that. So you have to be mentally present. And one thing which I always insist on, but that does not happen, but I will keep on insisting on that, you must develop a habit of asking questions. If you don't ask questions, neither you grow nor the teacher will grow. So when we say learning is not something which I am preaching for you. It applies on me as well. It applies on all the teachers. Because every teacher is also required to grow. Otherwise, that teacher will be redundant. So everybody requires that growth. So learning has to be there on both the sides, right? And again, we are in higher education. This is not a primary school. We are not, as teachers, we are not teaching you, treating you as kids, and we are teaching you ABCD. And you are also not kids. Everybody is above 18 years of age. Everybody is a grown-up person. So your contribution towards learning has to be there. It should not be only on the teacher. So we should always try to build a system of exchange, wherein the teacher is giving you 60, 70, 80%, whatever you decide. That's the responsibility of the teachers. But you should also take responsibility for at least 20 or 30%, which means you should come prepared to the class, which is hardly happening, I believe. So you should come prepared to the class. You should ask the teacher, even if the teacher is not telling you in advance, though we are trying to put a system in place wherein the lesson plans have been prepared by the teachers. Those will be provided to you. If not, you should ask for those lesson plans. You should ask the teachers in advance what they are going to teach in the next class. The CRs can play a pivotal role in this. कि अगर सारे लोग नहीं पूछ सकते हैं तो CR ही पूछ लेगा teachers, and then it can be circulated in the groups that this is the topic which is to be taken up by the teachers in the next class, right? So, and then even if you are not doing that, if all of you are not doing that, or sometime you are not able to do that, even then, whatever is being delivered by the teacher in the class, it should never remain a monologue. There has to be participation from the students, wherein you are not supposed only to ask questions, but ask penetrating questions. Try to ask the questions wherein you are in a way challenging the teacher. Unless you learn, unfortunately, we live in a society which always discourages for asking questions. That's the major problem. That's a societal problem. Obviously, it's not a problem of you people only. You are a product of this society only. So you are always told not to ask questions to your parents, not to ask questions to your elders, and that is how what you have learned all your life. And that is how you never raises a question. If you don't raise a question, nothing will happen. No education, no learning is possible. Even if you are asking questions for the sake of asking questions, do that. If teacher knows that there will be questions in the class, teacher will also go prepared to the class. Otherwise, most of the teachers feel that it's a very convenient job. कुछ भी पढ़ा के आ गए, स्टूडेंट ने सुन लिया, गलत पढ़ा दिया तब भी ठीक है, सही पढ़ा दिया तब भी ठीक है, बिकॉज टीचर को भी पता है कि तुम कभी कहोगे ही नहीं कि आपने गलत पढ़ाया. Always try to because everybody is a human being. There might be such instances. I have faced all such things in my life. जहाँ पर अगर मैंने कोई गलत फैक्ट बोला, there is a immediately question from a teacher कि आपने factually गलत बोल दिया. अगर ऐसे स्टूडेंट्स होंगे देन द लर्निंग विल बी वेरी फास्ट. टीचर विल ऑलवेज बी एट गार्ड कि गलत बोला तो पकड़ा जाऊंगा. So you should try, at least make an attempt, should try to create this kind of system so that जो एक साल है, you can make the maximum use of that, and once you realize the benefits of this, then you will enjoy asking questions and putting the teacher in his spot. Right? So try to build that kind of learning-based system, and then learning also demands, as I said, studying yourself. ऐसा नहीं है कि क्लास से कॉलेज से आ गए फिर उसके बाद तो आराम करना है. अगर फॉलोअप्स नहीं है, ये जर्नलिज्म में भी जो लोग जाएंगे सीखेंगे, जर्नलिज्म में भी इट्स ऑल अबाउट फॉलोअप्स. If you do something and forgets about that, then no purpose is going to be served, which is what happens, is a major problem area of journalism. There have to be follow-ups. आज एक चीज़ पढ़ी, उसको फिर उसके बाद क्या होगा, उसके बाद क्या होगा. सपोज आपने 19(1)A ही पढ़ लिया, दिस इज जस्ट एन एग्जाम्पल, 19(1)A ही पढ़ लिया, बट देन हर दूसरे तीसरे दिन नया इंटरप्रिटेशन आ रहा है. टीचर ने तो आपको 2 साल 1.5 साल पहले पढ़ा दिया, तो इसका मतलब अगर आपने 1.5 साल में अपने को अपडेट नहीं किया तो आपकी जिस तरह के इंडस्ट्री में, ठीक है, वॉट एवर गुड और बैड थिंग्स आर देयर, बट देन when you are joining the industry, whichever capacity as a professional, and there are 100 more people are joining along with you. Now, your effort should be that you excel, you are seen on top of 100 people. अगर उन 100 से रन ऑफ द मिल काइंड पर्सन बनना है तो फिर ठीक है, धीरे धीरे चलते रहोगे. बट देन इफ यू वांट टू क्रिएट ए स्पेस फॉर योरसेल्फ, देन योर नॉलेज हैज टू बी अपडेट. नो टीचर विल हेल्प यू, no books are going to help you. Books have a limited significance. I'm not saying they do not have the significance. Limited significance in the sense, आज आपने कोई किताब पढ़ी तो आज आप जो बुक पढ़ रहे हैं वो जिसने लिखी होगी 2 साल पहले लिखी होगी, 2 साल पहले छपी होगी. ऐसा तो नहीं है कि कल छपी आज आपके हाथ में. तो पिछले 2 साल के तो डेवलपमेंट होंगे ही नहीं उसमें. वो जो 2 साल के डेवलपमेंट हैं वो आपको खुद ही करना है, कोई नहीं करेगा. जैसे मैं मतलब ऑन माई पार्ट और ऑन द पार्ट ऑफ द दिस डिपार्टमेंट, वी ट्राई टू डू दैट, लाइक वी हैव स्टार्टेड दैट वी इंक्विजिटिव ग्रुप्स. आई थिंक मैनी ऑफ यू आर क्वाइट एक्टिव ऑन दैट. आज भी मैंने मॉर्निंग में आई पुट अप ए वीडियो ऑन दैट. कितने लोगों ने देखा था? ये वन साइडेड है. अब वी कैन मेक एफर्ट्स. यहीं पे प्रॉब्लम, जो प्रॉब्लम एरिया आई एम टॉकिंग अबाउट, कि we are very sincere, we are doing all efforts, you are not receiving that. तो we are failing then and you are also failing. दोनों ही लोगों की असफलता है, because if we are trying our best and you are not ready to be benefited of that, this is really unfortunate. Because again, this example I am giving you because I have put that video which talks about the personal liberties. In the case of Mohammad Zubair, in the light of the judgment that has been given by the Supreme Court, it has unfolded new questions as far as 19(1)A is concerned, as far as personal liberty is concerned, as far as Article 21, that's right to life, is concerned. These are the issues. ये कोई टीचर नहीं पढ़ाएगा, वो तो हो गया. सुप्रीम कोर्ट ने जजमेंट दे दिया, आप पढ़िए सुप्रीम कोर्ट का जजमेंट. ऑन माई पार्ट हमने कर दिया कि वो ग्रुप बना दिया है. लेटेस्ट कुछ होता है तो ग्रुप पे डाल देते हैं, लेकिन अब उसके बाद भी नहीं पढ़ेंगे तो फिर आपको घर घर जाके तो पढ़ाया नहीं जा सकता. इट्स नॉट पॉसिबल, प्रैक्टिकली नॉट पॉसिबल. So you must try to understand the importance of this continuous learning, whichever paper. And media research is, again, if I talk about media, particular papers that you have in this semester, media research, you might be taking up different topics. So media research is a process of conducting research, but on what you are doing the research. Again, the content part becomes important. So you have to learn the research methodology, the process of doing research, but at the same time, you have to decide a topic on which you are doing research. That topic might be coming from any area, could be from human rights, could be from environment, could be from health, could be from any contemporary issues, any development which is happening in the society, like it could be on fake news, it could be on the health issues which happened during these 2 years. So you must be well aware of all these areas. So in media industry, in media education also, your knowledge have no boundaries, should have no boundaries. Media education or media practice, it was always and it is, there's one constant thing which has not changed. You are supposed to know everything. Though this expertise or mastery area is there, but then you have to understand everything, you must know everything. So all this must be understood, right? Now this is about media research. Now technology I talked about. Then the third major area which is important here is the event management. Now event management, I must clarify on your misconceptions. One major challenge before us and a person like me is how to make you unlearn of the things which are obsolete, which have no relevance in today's time. So you have to unlearn those things. And also you need to remove your misconceptions. Event is again one such area wherein almost everybody suffers from some misconceptions, right? When we say event, normally it's understood that some webinar is to be organized, some seminar is to be organized, some inaugural function is to be organized, and then the venue is to be decided, the guest is to be decided, and the function is taking place. It's not that, right? It has never been that way. But then the understanding part is a problem, wherein you don't understand what is meant by event. Event has a major component of rather I should say that the content part or the academic part related to that. What is that? I give you an example to understand, to explain this point, and then I believe you should understand this. Suppose we are organizing ICANN as we did the 5th edition. Now from where we will approach? We will decide a theme, right? So we have to decide a theme which is not a repetitive of the last 4 editions. We have to decide a theme which is contemporary, which is relevant, which is on which some discussion, deliberations are happening or not happening. Then we decide we should choose a topic wherein not much discussion is happening, but then you think that it's a vital area on which some debate should happen, right? So you choose a topic. Now here your academic part comes in, your knowledge comes in. How much understanding you have about the industry, how much understanding you have about the international scenario, how much understanding you have about the social settings, how much understanding you have about the social relationships, how much understanding you have about the equality or inclusiveness. I mean, because we choose that topic, only then you will be able to decide a theme for your conference. So it's purely academic. यहाँ सिर्फ वो कहाँ पे कुर्सी लगानी है और कहाँ पे स्टेज लगाना है, कहाँ पे फूल लगाने हैं, कहाँ माइक लगाना है, ये काम नहीं है. जो नॉर्मली इवेंट का मतलब सारे लोग यही समझते हैं, ठीक है. सो योर academic part, your knowledge part is very prominent. And then once you decide a theme, what will be the next thing? You will look for the experts, you will look for the scholars who have some expertise in this area. Only then you will invite those people. So again the academic part is there or the content part is there. So you will look for good people. Then, I mean, it's not purely event, it's an academic exercise, right? Then you will plan your sessions. So the sub-themes, and then the session on different sub-themes are being organized. Then you should be well versed what could be the offshoots, what could be the sub-themes in those areas. Then will come the planning part, which is actually understood by the event managers कि किस दिन कौन सा सेशन होगा, कहाँ पे होगा, फिर कैसे होगा, हॉस्पिटैलिटी कैसी होगी और डेकोरेशन कैसे होगा. ये सब बहुत secondary aspects है. Normally your emphasis is on the secondary aspects, not on the primary aspect. So I'm telling you this all because now you will be studying event management as a subject, and you, as a practical exercise, you will be handling the content part, wherein the different sessions you need to organize, different discussions you need to organize. Suppose तुम्हें उसमें debate का topic decide करना है, then you must understand how the debate topic can be decided and all. तो ये सारी चीज़ें, आपको कोई writing का competition है तो उसका आपको एक topic decide करना है, वहाँ वो केवल light और camera और मेज कुर्सी वाला aspect needs beyond that. So you must always try to conduct events which have an academic orientation. When I say academic orientation, it does not mean कि it has to be very bookish, it has to be very uninteresting. It can also be made interesting, right? So you must approach the event management paper from that side. Now, the digital media marketing. I think this is something which is not to be told because everybody understands that. But there also, there are so many things to be learned, right? Normally everybody is on the social media, everybody understands the social media, but digital media marketing is more than that. You must understand that how to expand your horizon, how to reach out to more people, how to strengthen your networking, and how to open avenues for your career. As in your batch only, I believe we started this compulsory LinkedIn profile. Everybody has. Anybody who do not have? कोई है? नहीं. But then, chalo, this primary thing. We decided that everybody has to have from the first semester. That is one. Two, how much active you are on LinkedIn. LinkedIn is just an example because it's an academic platform, and it is necessary for you to move ahead in life. So it's not a pastime kind of thing that you do on Instagram. So that understanding has also to be there. The difference between Instagram and LinkedIn. The difference between Facebook and Twitter. You all do it. Many of you might be doing a lot of things. But then, are you clear about these differences? For what purpose, which platform is to be used? How much time is to be devoted to that platform? What all is the requirement of that platform? What all you need to do to get the maximum benefit from that platform? That need to understand. जैसे तुम लोग अभी internship करके आए हो, for getting internship opportunities and for getting a job, there can be no better thing at this point of time in the world than LinkedIn. Even if I am not looking for jobs, every week I get 10 job offers, lucrative job offers, even if I am not looking for jobs. So one who is looking for jobs, you can imagine that if you do LinkedIn, use LinkedIn cleverly, you will be full with jobs. इतने jobs आएंगे तुम्हें समझ में नहीं आएगा क्या करें. तो जो पूरा placement का concept है वही that will get a jolt, because normally we are working in a very conventional style of placement. कि कंपनी को बुला दिया, तुम्हारा इंटरव्यू करा दिया, वो पुराने ज़माने की बात होगी. We should try to build a system where placement is not an issue. जब तक हम पूछें कि किसको प्लेसमेंट चाहिए, सबको नौकरी मिल चुकी होनी चाहिए. एंड सो इजी, बहुत आसान है. तो अगर तुम्हें वो नहीं समझ में आया तो in digital media marketing or even otherwise also in this semester, we can help you in understanding that. जो एग्जिस्टिंग टीचर्स हैं, नहीं तो हम एक्सपर्ट्स बुला लेंगे, वर्कशॉप करा सकते हैं. एवरीथिंग इज पॉसिबल सो दैट यू अंडरस्टैंड हाउ टू यूज दीज प्लेटफॉर्म्स. एंड देन वी वांट टू क्रिएट अ सिस्टम जहाँ पर तुम 5th सेमेस्टर या 6th सेमेस्टर तक आते आते कहो कि सर नौकरी मिल गई है, हमें आपकी हेल्प नहीं चाहिए. टेक्नोलॉजी है तो उसको यूज़ करो, सीखो कि कैसे उसका फ़ायदा उठाया जा सकता है. तुम लोगों में से ऑनेस्टली बताओ कितने लोग लिंक्डइन पे एक्टिव हो? कोई नहीं. क्या नाम है तुम्हारा? ठीक है. क्या करती हो तुम लिंक्डइन पे? आते हैं. क्या हुआ? ठीक है, जो करता है वो समझेगा. मतलब नहीं तो दिस इज समथिंग विच कैन नॉट बी एक्सप्लेन्ड सिंपली इन 3-4 sentences. दिस इज समथिंग विच यू शुड अंडरस्टैंड बाय डूइंग योरसेल्फ. देन यू विल अंडरस्टैंड द बेनिफिट्स, राइट? और सिर्फ नेटवर्क अगेन, नेटवर्क ऑब्वियसली एट योर स्टेज यू आर मोस्टली एट द रिसीविंग एंड, जहाँ पर यू आर लुकिंग फॉर जॉब्स एंड देयर आर पीपल हु मे ऑफर यू द जॉब. वो गैप है, बट यू शुड ट्राई टू ब्रिज दैट गैप इन ए मैनर वेयर इन यू मस्ट बी इन्वॉल्व इन लॉट ऑफ एक्टिविटीज and you put all those activities on the LinkedIn so that people come to know that you are active in this area and accordingly वो तुम्हारे पास उस तरह के jobs आते रहेंगे. उनका पूरा LinkedIn का सिस्टम ऐसा है कि वो as soon as you are active you are registered somewhere and then accordingly वो आपके पास उसी तरह के jobs आएंगे. अभी हमने कॉन्फ्रेंस की आई कैन 5 के की हमारी थीम थी. किसी को थीम पता है? आई कैन 5 की थीम प्रिया बताओ. तो लग रहा है कोई मंगल ग्रह से वापस आए हो 2 महीने के बाद. अरे इसी कॉलेज के 2 साल से पार्ट हो, ऐसी हालत क्यों है? किस बात का नेगोशिएशन पूरा बताओ. ठीक है. It was on inclusivity, convergence and alternative negotiation. ठीक है. उसके पोस्ट DME मीडिया स्कूल से भी पढ़े जिसमें मैं टैग था लिंक्डइन पे और मैंने अपने पोस्ट डाले. अब मेरे पास हर हफ्ते 2-3 जॉब्स उसी एरिया के आ रहे हैं. अब नाउ यू कैन अंडरस्टैंड कि लिंक्डइन किस तरह का प्लेटफॉर्म है. कहीं पे वो क्या इंक्लूसिव ऑफिसर, ड्राइवर से पता नहीं किस किस तरह के जॉब आ रहे हैं मेरे पास. तो इतनी आसानी से इसका मतलब क्या हुआ? इसका मतलब व्हाट कैन बी द टेक अवे फ्रॉम दिस एग्जांपल? यू शुड ट्राई टू डू ऑल सच काइंड ऑफ एक्टिविटीज इन द एरियाज यू आर देयर सो दैट लिंक्डइन को अपने आप पता लग जाए कि आप क्या चाहते हैं. तो जो आप चाहते हैं वो आपको मिल जाएगा वहाँ से. So try to use that. इतनी सब कुछ दुनिया में चेंज है. You are the luckiest people. तुम जो उस ज़माने में तुम लोग अभी हो 20 साल की एज में, जब दुनिया बदल गई है पूरी तरह से. अब इतना मेड इजी है. पहले आज से 25-30 साल पहले कितने एफर्ट्स लोगों को करने पड़ते थे टू रीच समवेयर. अब सारी चीज़ें आपके पास हैं, आपको सिर्फ आँख खोल के देखना है और उसका यूज़ कर लेना है. एंड इवन ये इतनी बुरी हालत है कि तुम लोगों को कुछ पता ही नहीं कि अभी हो क्या रहा है. So many important judgments have been made by the Supreme Court during the last 10 days. Hardly anybody will be knowing this. जबकि मैंने एक और भी अभी शेयर किया था, आज भी शेयर किया, बट पढ़ने के लिए भी तैयार नहीं है. तो बहुत तो चलो उसका भी वीडियो वर्जन भी है, ऑडियो वर्जन भी है, कान में लगा के मेट्रो में सुन लिया करोगे क्या हुआ. देयर आर वेज एंड मीन्स इफ़ यू आर इंटरेस्टेड. ठीक है. तो अपने उस पर नॉलेज पे काम करने की कोशिश करो, लर्निंग पे काम करने की कोशिश करो, टेक्नोलॉजी का बेहतर इस्तेमाल करने की कोशिश करो. सोशल मीडिया पे जितनी रील बनाना है बनाओ, कोई फ़र्क नहीं पड़ता. बट देन उसका भी हमने तो रील का भी बहुत अलग तरह का यूज़ कर रहे हैं. ट्राई टू अंडरस्टैंड कि इसको हम कैसे यूज़ कर सकते हैं. ठीक है. अभी हमने जो बहुत सारे जो विशाल सर ने शुरू किया है, बहुत सारे जो रील्स हैं वो बना के हम इंस्टा पे तो डाल ही रहा है, उसका हम वीडियो जाके यूट्यूब का जो शॉर्ट वर्जन है वहाँ डाल रहे हैं और उस लिंक को हम अलग प्रमोशन के लिए इस्तेमाल कर रहे हैं. बहुत सारी. दिस इज़ अबाउट डिजिटल मीडिया मार्केटिंग. दिस इज डिजिटल मीडिया मार्केटिंग, कि कैसे आप प्रमोट कर सकते हैं मल्टीपल प्लेटफॉर्म्स को एक ही कंटेंट को आगे ले जाके. तो you have to find ways and means, you have to be innovative, you have to think original कि हम क्या नया कर सकते हैं. नहीं तो वो घिसे पिटे तरीके से करोगे तो हज़ार लाख लोग और कर रहे हैं, तो यू विल नॉट बी एबल टू क्रिएट स्पेस फॉर योर सेल्फ. ऐसा आइडिया लेके करो कि जो किसी के पास नहीं है. सो एवरीथिंग शुड ट्राई टू थिंक about original ideas, try to be innovative, do things differently which nobody other does. Only then there is some scope. I will also talk about finally, because there are 3 regular papers, compulsory papers that you have, the media research, event management and new media. And then you have 2 electives wherein you have to choose between digital media marketing and film appreciation. Though your sessions have already taken place during the last 2 to 3 days, wherein the respective teachers have talked to you on online sessions, giving you clarity about your electives and helping you in understanding where your interest lies and which elective papers you wish to take up. But then the other elective paper, that is film appreciation, I believe every year in every batch there are less takers of film appreciation paper. But I believe if you have understood the importance of film, it's not merely film appreciation. In the present day context, you must expand it for your understanding. This is all about entertainment content. Film appreciation वो conventional तरीके से मत समझो. This is a term which was there even 50 years back, film appreciation. So no new term has been coined, but its scope has expanded a lot, wherein anything which is being done on the entertainment sector, any kind of content, be it earlier there used to be the serials, but now it's a web series, there are short form, there are long contents. I mean, a lot of variety is there in terms of formats, in terms of treatment, in terms of stories and screenplays, in terms of direction. So much experiments are being done, right? And also, if we look into the digital marketing part, the entertainment contents are being promoted with the help of digital marketing tools. Okay, so you must understand the linkages also. Don't look at a subject in isolation. There can be no compartmentalization kind of approach. Every one subject has an overlap with the other subject, right? So there are people working on the OTT content or working on entertainment content who have nothing in the creative field, who have no inclination to work on the creative side. They are not writers, they are not screenplay writers, they are not actors, they are not directors, they are hardcore marketing people. All OTT companies are being led by marketing people who are approaching the creative people to generate contents for them. Right? So the management part or the marketing part comes in. That is how, because earlier, 25, 30 years back, nobody was thinking कि marketing has something to do with media. जो थोड़ा बहुत था भी एडवर्टाइजिंग को, उनको सेकंड ग्रेड माना जाता था. कभी भी मेन स्ट्रीम में नहीं थे. मेन स्ट्रीम हमेशा कंटेंट था. आज भी मेन स्ट्रीम कंटेंट है, नो डाउट. But then marketing has entered in a big way in the media industry, wherein in a course like BJMC we are teaching digital media marketing, though it should have been the area of BBA or MBA. But this is part of the curriculum in BJMC because we cannot separate the marketing part or the social media part from the content or technology. So everything has to go hand in hand. So that is how I'm not asking you to essentially take the film appreciation, but all those people who are creative and who also have a knack for marketing, for social media promotions and any such thing, they should opt for film appreciation, so that you understand the entertainment content part. And this is something which is going to expand day by day. This is the future. The platform might be changed. I mean, from the theaters, it might be on your screen in homes, but then the entertainment content generation will increase and increase and increase. If you simply look at the figures worldwide, the contents which are being generated by Netflix or by Amazon Prime and any such, I mean, every month, at least in India, at least one or two more OTT operators are joining the industry. So there is so much scope is still left कि लगातार हर महीने नए नए players आ रहे हैं. जो भी नए players आ रहे हैं, OTT companies जो भी आ रही हैं, they need contents and they need fresh contents. So there is a need for creative people, and then everything, and then technology part. Technology part means कि every OTT company, they have to have that back-end technology to have the quality control on the contents, to place those contents on their platforms, on their apps. So technology people requirement is also there in a big way. And then all those contents have to be marketed between the OTT company and the producers, the creators of the content on one end, and the OTT company and the viewers or the subscribers. So there is a need of people who understand management, who understand marketing, who understand the content generation, and who have an idea as to what kind of content will sell. And this is infinite. Even platforms like Google, they have set up their own Google Play. Even platforms like Apple TV, they have set up their iTunes. Everybody is going in a big way. Every company is going in a big way, expanding a lot worldwide. And there is a need of content which is again cannot be defined. There are contents generated in India for the Indian audience, but there are people in foreign countries who are also looking for those contents. That is how Google is also in the business. Right? So you must understand this. So film appreciation, again, the point which I was clarifying to you, film appreciation should not be understood watching a film and understanding it. It's beyond that. So from that perspective, all those people who are creative should also take the film appreciation part. Obviously, digital media marketing is something which gives you an access, but which will be more on hands-on. But film appreciation will be more towards content and the management and the marketing part. So you should relook at the option that you would have given as far as choosing your elective papers are concerned. So this was all about, I try to give you an understanding, basic understanding of whatever 5 papers are there in this semester. And also I try to give you an understanding as to what kind of scenario exists outside in the media industry, the opportunities which are available, how you can avail those opportunities. There are setbacks, there have been setbacks during these 2 years. As far as job market is concerned in media, a lot of retrenchment happened in the last 2 years, but now the things have again started growing and expanding at every level. And there is a new environment, I should say. There is a new kind of jobs, new kind of openings. So you must be prepared. Like this OTT is completely, it was there already, but then the way it has transformed, it has happened because of COVID. So not everything bad has happened during the COVID. Completely a new world has opened up for you people who want to take up positions in the media industry. Right? So this was mostly I wanted to talk about. I invite questions if there are any.
सर फिल्म एप्रिसिएशन में जो लैब पार्ट है उसमें ज़्यादातर फिल्म रिव्यू और वो चीज़ें हैं, तो कंटेंट पार्ट वाली जिसकी अभी आप बात कर रहे थे वो लैब में है नहीं, जो अभी मैंने सिलेबस देखा है। तो उसकी फिर राइटिंग हो, चाहे मतलब वो स्टोरी जनरेशन हो, डायलॉग का हो, स्क्रीन प्ले का हो, तो वो पार्ट मिसिंग है। तो फिर हम उसे कैसे कवर करेंगे?
ठीक है, बहुत ही अच्छा क्वेश्चन है। ठीक है, वो ऐसा ही चाहिए। जो सिलेबस में नहीं है वो हम सब करवा देंगे। उसके लिए ज़रूरी है नहीं, उसके लिए देयर इज लॉट ऑफ स्कोप। उसको छोड़ दो, माइक पे फोकस छोड़ दो। कैसे करेंगे ये मैं बता देता हूँ। उसमें वी कैन हैव सर्टेन स्पेशल लेक्चर्स ऑन एनी एरिया दैट यू फील देयर इज अ नीड, which has always been there, that is scope. I mean, that has never been a problem in DME. Any special lecture can be held. Any expert can be invited, as we have expertise in inviting all good people. So that's not at all difficult. We can invite. And we can also have few workshops, etc. But then the kind of question that you asked just now, this kind of input is required from the students. Like, everybody has a limitations. I may be having my own limitations. Teachers might be having their own limitations. They would not have thought of any such thing. But if something is coming from you, it's welcome, and we will do that. And there is actually a need. Now, the point here is, I must also tell you, though many of you must be having an understanding of this, we have a structured syllabus. We have an examination system. But then, in DME, and particularly in DME Media School, we are not restricted to that. You all know that. We can go beyond and beyond that. Subject to this, if such kind of suggestions come, and then we can do lot of add-ons. The university does not restrict us to do add-ons. We can do anything for adding value to whatever is prescribed in the syllabus. But then those ideas should be floated, and then you have to be a stakeholder in that whole process.
सर ये एक्चुअली जब हमारे अभी लास्ट एग्जाम्स हुए थे तो उस टाइम पे काफ़ी स्टूडेंट्स को प्रॉब्लम आया था कि जब हमारे वाइवाज हुए थे, मतलब वाइवा हुआ था, तो काफ़ी सब्जेक्ट्स में एग्जामिनर ने कुछ ऐसे क्वेश्चंस पूछे थे जो एक्चुअली में मतलब वो प्रैक्टिकल बेस्ड जो था। तो हमने वैसे तो वो सोशल मीडिया के उस पर और ऑनलाइन वो चीज़ें थी हमारे पास, बट हैंडी नहीं थी वो चीज़ें। तो उन्होंने कहा वो चीज़ हमें हैंडी चाहिए। तो आगे अब हमारे प्रैक्टिकल्स होंगे तो ये जो प्रॉब्लम एक आता है कि वहाँ पे वो हमें पूछते हैं और हमें ये चीज़ बताई नहीं गई है पहले, तो उसे हम आगे मतलब कैसे देखें?
ठीक है, उसके लिए तुम ऐसा करो, एक लिस्ट बना लो। अगर तुम्हें आइडिया है, बाकी अपने क्लासमेट से पूछ लो। ठीक है, एक लिस्ट बना लो, और उन एरियाज़ पे वी कैन आइदर प्लान स्पेशल सेशंस और a few workshops in those areas where there's actually a need. We'll do that.
सर प्रॉब्लम ये नहीं है, प्रॉब्लम ये कि मतलब हमें पता ही नहीं होती हैं कि वो चीज़ें आगे से क्या आने वाली हैं।
तो मेरे पास आके कभी डिस्कस कर लो।
ओके सर।
तो ड्यूरिंग द डिस्कशन वी विल मेक आउट कि क्या ज़रूरत है।
ओके सर।
सर जो फिल्म अप्रिसिएशन सब्जेक्ट है वो एक पर्सन जो वीडियोग्राफी एंथुजियास्ट है उसके लिए कैसे यूज़फुल हो सकता है?
तो वही है, इट्स अबाउट entertainment content generation. It's about entertainment content generation. और क्या वीडियो में और क्या करते हो? You are creating contents in different genres. ठीक है, you are creating contents in different genres on different formats. यही कर रहे हो ना, तो वीडियो क्या बनाते हो? वीडियो तो इट्स अ टेक्नोलॉजी, बट ऑन व्हाट यू आर मेकिंग ए वीडियो, दैट बिकम्स कंटेंट इज ऑलवेज इम्पॉर्टेंट। एंटरटेनमेंट सेक्टर में तो कहा ही जाता है, वैसे तो सभी जगह है, एंटरटेनमेंट सेक्टर में तो कहा ही जाता है कंटेंट इज द किंग। ओटीटी के आने से क्या हुआ, जो जितने चेंजेस आए, एक बड़ा चेंज ये आया है कि ऐसी थीम्स पे, ऐसे सब्जेक्ट्स पे वेब सीरीज बन रही है जो कभी किसी ने सोचा ही नहीं था। फिल्म वालों ने तो कभी नहीं सोचा था। तो कंटेंट ही तो है ना मेन। फिल्म बनाने की तो बदला क्या है, पहले थिएटर के लिए बनती थी, अब मान लीजिए उसके लिए बन रही है। फिल्म मेकिंग तो वही है, कैमरा भी वही है, स्क्रीन प्ले भी वही है, शूटिंग भी वही है, लेकिन अप्रोच बदल गया, ट्रीटमेंट बदल गया, तो उसके हिसाब से ही तुम्हें सोचना है। पूछ लो अनन्या, तुम, कोई बात नहीं। अच्छा, ये तुम्हारी रिप्रेजेंटेटिव है? हाँ सूफिया बताओ, कुछ नहीं पूछना? मैं कह रहा हूँ क्वेश्चन पूछो, तुम लोग अभी पूछने से भाग रहे तो कैसे करोगे? चलो एक सेशन और लेते हैं, तैयार करके आना क्वेश्चन, ठीक है? नेवर गो अनप्रिपेयर्ड इन एनी सेशन, एनीथिंग दैट यू डू। हर समय तुम्हारे पास, जब व्हेन यू रीच ए सिचुएशन जहाँ पर तुम्हारे पास हर समय कुछ ऐसी चीज़ें हैं जिनका तुम्हें आंसर मिल ही नहीं रहा, so that continuous state of inquisitiveness will finally lead to learning. ठीक है? That continuous state of inquisitiveness will lead to learning. जिस दिन सारे जवाब मिल गए लाइफ में, उस दिन लाइफ ख़त्म हो जाएगी, फिर कुछ बचेगा ही नहीं। तो अगर लाइफ को ख़त्म करना चाहते हो तो सवाल पूछना बंद कर दो, आगे जीना चाहते हो तो सवाल पूछना शुरू कर दो, ठीक है? चलो, ओके, थैंक यू।
Thank you so much, sir. And with that, I hope that students now have a broad picture for the semester that is coming up now, and you have some clarity as to where we are headed in the next 6 months. With that, I welcome you all to this penultimate semester of your graduation, and we will gather here again at 2 p.m. for the keynote address that will be delivered by Mr. Sanjay Kumar about digital in contemporary media. Thank you all for coming today. Thank you, Dr. Saxena, for addressing the gathering. Thank you to all the teachers for their support, and thank you, Bala Ma'am, for all your support and wishes to the entire student fraternity here. Thank you, everyone.
The first impression that comes to our mind about any college: tall buildings, big classrooms, large lobby areas, thick books, IT labs, assignments, class tests, and projects. Nothing besides that. Every hour, minute, second spent here help us carving and shaping our persona, cultivating innovative mindsets for the challenging world. Learning is a lifelong process. Sharing knowledge, inculcating values of life, spark the innovative horizons of mind. Fun and frolic is the nature of every nook and corner here. A daily dose of thrill we are sure to get here.